Hi, my name is Jake, and welcome back to CSGO News. Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of CSGO News and some great stories for all of you today. Those time markers will be down below in the description for all of you. First off, in breaking news, I do want to share with all of you Red Reserve's newest all-Swedish roster. They confirmed their 5th and permanent member, Maikelele, this morning. He actually announced on Twitter, as well as so today, their full-man roster on screen for all of you. Maikelele now joins the all-Swedish roster and his 16th team in the game of CSGO so far. Not many people understanding why he had the hashtag 16, but yeah, when you count it up on the wiki pages, he is one of the top players for the most teams ever played for. Ever since 2012 and the initiation and the release of CSGO, he has now played for, including Red Reserve, 16 different organizations, 16 different rosters and teams. Many of you know the struggles he's had the past few weeks, and especially over the past year and a half, playing for NIP as a stand-in, Team QWERTY, ESG, Kingwin, FaZe Clan. The list goes on, and he is now officially a part of the Red Reserve all-Swedish roster going forward. So congrats to Maikelele, and best of luck to that team as well in the future. Now, also bouncing off that, guys, we do have some more roster changes happening in North America, this time to Team Misfits. It seems their Opera Shahzam has been permanently benched by their coach Peacemaker. He actually said that the information and the reasons as to why would not be made public, but Shahzam did come out on stream and say some things about that, as well as some other members actually now know more details as to why Shahzam was benched. So it seems he had a lack of commitment going forward to Team Misfits, and he did not want to actually go out for the first day of their boot camp for the PGL Minor. They're going to try and make the major qualifier. I'll show those 8 teams on screen for North America. 2 of those teams will go forth, and they actually are starting their boot camp, I believe, today, and Shahzam couldn't make it out to the first day. He went on to discuss why that actually happened, so I'll play the clip for all of you guys as to why Shahzam has now been permanently benched and most likely going to be replaced on Team Misfits.
So why don't you just go to the team house? It sounds pretty bacon simple. Lewis asked me to come out to the boot camp as soon as possible, like immediately, for like 2 weeks of boot camp before the minor. I said that I couldn't immediately come out. I had some personal obligations at home. It was just like way too soon. And I guess there were some other things that I can't really say, but I wasn't comfortable just immediately dropping everything, going out for 2 weeks. I said I could do all the practice from home, but I will come out like a few days before the minor, maybe like the beginning of the week if it starts on like a Thursday. Lewis felt very strongly that I have a lack of commitment to the team because of that, and said he would rather work with someone that is fully committed to the team.
And so it does seem going forward a big hit to Team Misfits, because not just Shahzam but other players as well. Sean Gares will not be there for the PGL Minor. Of the 8 teams on screen for all of you, a very important tournament qualifier, as of the 8 teams on screen, 2 of those teams will make the major qualifier. So obviously a big qualifying here for teams like Cloud9, CLG, Pain, Complexity. On top of that, Misfits definitely had a better chance as of 2 weeks ago, but now their 5-man roster, they will have 2 members that will actually be stood in for. One of them being Shahzam. The Brazilian player ZQK should be his replacement going forward. He tweeted out that he will be playing for the team in place of their Opera Shahzam, who will be permanently benched accordingly. Now, on top of that, Sean Gares will also be off the team. He's spending some quality time with his lady friend, arguably at a pretty bad time here, but that's more importantly to him apparently, and he'll be stood in for by former TSM Skylar on that roster. So going forward, they're definitely going to take a hit here. They are down technically 2 of their starting members, but that's going to be a big tournament qualifier for them. So best of luck to Misfits, and we'll see if they can still qualify. And before we get into our main story, which I want to reiterate probably in a future video by itself again, I want to talk about playing CSGO in the air. As you guys could probably see in the thumbnail, we actually had Penta Gaming playoff against Exodus in a simple show match, a simple online match. No one really thought too much of it. Before, though, it was actually sponsored by Azus, and it was actually playing CSGO up in the air. They were up elevated. Not only the players, the casters, all the analysts were up there as well. It was a really cool thing to see, really cool event to watch. On top of that, though, we also had them elevated not just a few feet in the air. They were up to 60 meters up in the air. Azus, the computer company who actually tried to sponsor this event, obviously trying to keep up with HP. HP had the Omen Challenge series. Remember, you guys know where the players were electrocuted, or they were deafened, or they were squirted with water and are spun around in their chairs. Obviously, all these computer companies saw that and trying to compete up with that. So yes, Penta versus Exodus. Penta did take your title here, but they played CSGO 60 meters in the air. I don't know why, but it was kind of cool. And a story that I've been really dying to share with all of you, and expect in the future to me have to actually make a single video dedicated to this one topic. I do want to share with all of you the details again. I do apologize for all you loyal fans out there who've already seen this video. I do want to talk about the Gambit coaching scandal going on with their academy team, which happened about a month ago, a little over a month ago, which many people do not know about. Gambit Academy, or Gambit, actually promised me a response, and they never responded to the situation. So I promise all of you I will continue this story until we actually get a response. There's not only allegations, but several allegations of witnesses to a Gambit coach. I'll show him on screen in several pictures. This guy's name, or in-game name I guess we could call him by, is Saga. He actually was accused not only of verbally threatening as well as verbally abusing the actual academy players, 4 of the 5 academy members who actually left the roster. He was also eyewitnessed by all those academy members, I think several new academy members and former academy members, and also management on Gambit Gaming. He was also witness to actually physically abuse, as in punch in the face and berate, one of the team's managers. His name is Igor, otherwise known as Fury. He's a well-known manager for Gambit Gaming as well as an editor in the CIS region, very well known, and he was actually physically abused by Saga, and no one has really said anything ever since. So to reiterate the story for all of you guys, we actually had Gambit Academy, 4 of their 5 members randomly left the team. No one knew why, no one gave us details, but you can expect in a CIS region, especially when you're playing for a team like Gambit, you're not going to have 4 academy members leave for no reason whatsoever. But in their statement, they really just had a post, nothing really, nothing in detail as to why the players left. It came out on a Reddit post as well as other news forums, as well as myself, that there was actual evidence out there and accusations from the players for those 5 academy members, as well as new academy members and younger members on the team, not the actual main roster, had come out and said that yes, this coach Saga had verbally abused them and threatened to take away their salaries, threatened to send them home and kick them off the team if they did not win, and also on top of that, he had physically punched several times the team manager and editor Igor, which I couldn't find pictures of for all of you. But those allegations still stand today, and no one has yet to say anything. Now, actually, Gambit responded to me on Twitter. This was actually 3.5 weeks ago. They said, do not worry, we'll give you a response sometime this week. That was 3.5 weeks ago, and we still have no response from Gambit, no publishing whatsoever as to what happened with those allegations. Now, I will say this, the situation is kind of a sketchy one. We don't have too much evidence besides a single post on another news network out there, but we do have allegations from 4 of the 5 academy members, and on top of that, I actually reached out to former Gambit member Hooch, and I wanted to confirm if he actually had ever heard anything, him being a part of the main roster for Gambit Gaming, if they've ever heard of the abuses of this coach Saga. Now, Hooch said that Saga he had never had any issues with, and besides that, no other Gambit members have actually reached out to me. No academy members, no main members, no management has actually touched out to me to actually clarify what is going on. So, at this point in time, I'm going to say innocent until proven guilty, but please be aware, guys, the Gambit Gaming coach is definitely inside this abuse scandal story, and I will make it publicized until we get a response. So thank you for all of you guys who actually share this story. And very last in today's episode of CSGO News, first of all, I do want to say please leave a comment down below. I'll try and reply to all the comments. Thank you guys all for the great support so far. Let me take off the glasses for this last story as we touch on Selfless former owner Ryu. Now, many of you probably heard about a month and a half ago, Selfless Gaming actually shut down their organization. He had a CSGO roster for quite some time, sold off some players, and then eventually actually thought it was time to get out of the CSGO scene, although he might return sometime soon. Now, Ryu made a video about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and why I want to finally share it with all of you is because it just came to light to me. So it's a great video, guys. I'll link it down below for all of you. A lot of jump cuts, but the overall point of this video is very important. Now, many of you remember ESL's ruling on their academy teams. They said that as an organization, you cannot have an academy team and a main roster in a single tournament. So that means for the major, we don't want a single organization. Let's say Fnatic for this example. We can't have Fnatic and Fnatic Academy all at the major. It's just, or the major qualifier for say, because it's not very fair, If we had Fnatic and their academy team at the major qualifier, they could tip the scales, try and manipulate the games if they ever did play each other to have one team guaranteed to go through. It's definitely controversial. It made sense, the ruling itself. Now, Ryu brings up a great point when we bring up companies like ES Force, who have ownership of Virtus Pro and SK Gaming, or other teams partially owned as well, and the rule does not apply to those teams. Now, many of you guys know SK and Virtus Pro are 2 of the top teams in the world, and they are both owned by the same company. But ESL's rule does not apply to that kind of umbrella. It only applies to academy teams and main rosters. So, for the major qualifier, Fnatic Academy is actually trying to change organizations as we speak, because if they make the major qualifier, it could be, pretentious, it could be actually controversial. So, Why does the rule not apply to organizations like ES Force, but it applies to organizations like Fnatic? That's the question going forward. I'll play part of the video for all of you guys. I'll link the full video down below, and that was great explanation on the ESL ruling by Ryu as to why the rule does not make full sense. As always, hope you guys all enjoyed. That's going to do it for today's episode of CSGO News. I will have no episode tomorrow, most likely, because my sister is actually coming home, and she is leaving for good for all of the summer tomorrow, so I'm going to spend time with her and the rest of my family. But I will promise you guys a video Tuesday and the rest of the week as well as well as a Q&A with my mom. I promised you guys a Q&A with my sister, but I lied. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Live, love, laugh a lot. Remember, I like you. I will see you guys all hopefully in a couple days. More CSGO News. Thank you all for the great support. Leave a comment down below, and goodbye!